Hello, hello, and welcome to episode 144 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. I'm Christine.
And I'm Sam.
We have some fun things to tell you.
We do.
You want to talk about what we did this weekend?
Sure. So on Sunday, we headed down to Newcastle, Pennsylvania, which is my hometown, and we saw my brother, Owen, and his daughter, our niece, Lucy, in a production of Once on This Island at the Newcastle Playhouse.
Yeah, it was really fun to see them both up on stage.
Yeah, we've gotten really used to seeing Lucy on stage, of course, over the past several years, but I haven't seen my brother on stage since he was in high school, unless you count that one brief moment at Lucy's first dance recital where he did Single Ladies.
Yeah, they made all the dads get up and they did this dance to all the single ladies. It was pretty ridiculous.
It was pretty ridiculous, but I have to say, Owen kind of rocked it.
Yeah, he did kind of rock it.
He did.
It was funny.
Yeah, so it was really awesome to see the two of them in a play together. Lucy was playing the character of Andrea, and Owen was playing the character of Armand / the Frenchman.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some moments that just made me very, very happy. My brother dancing as though he was a tree.
Yeah. Yeah, Sam kind of lost it a couple of times. Inappropriately. It's a good thing we were sitting in the very back row.
Yes, he comes out in this big feathered Napoleonic hat, which was pure genius.
I loved it.
It was fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that was really fun.
So after the show, we headed back to Owen and Lucy's house because we were going to spend the night with them. And we went to dinner at Burgatory. Now, Burgatory was a new experience for us. We had never been there before. But Christine actually made this request of Owen because she checked ahead of time, and it turns out that they do have a few vegan options.
Yeah, and it's really close to his house.
Yeah, and something completely different.
Yeah, we haven't been there, and we always like to go out to dinner with them, and I know he always like spends some time looking for a restaurant that has options, and I know with them being busy with the show and everything, I didn't want them to have to worry about it. So
makes really good sense.
Yeah, I texted them ahead of time and said, hey, we can go to Burgatory. They have plenty of vegan options. And so there you go. They have this fun little sheet.
Oh my gosh.
Little check-off sheet.
I had so much fun.
Yeah,
we did
lists, anything with lists.
Lists. They gave me a list that I got to play with.
She's
my gosh.
this is fun.
Yeah.
They give you a little pencil and a little pad with all the options.
It was amazing. Yeah, so like one of those little mini golf pencils and a sheet of paper with all of the options on it. And so we each did the build your own burger.
Right.
And so I had an Impossible burger with the cracked peppercorn dry rub.
Yeah, they had like all these rubs you could put on.
Seriously.
It was really fancy.
Yes, with vegan cheddar cheese.
Yeah.
And some grilled onions and dill pickle, romaine tomato, and whole grain mustard on a potato bun.
And I also went with the Impossible Burger. They have a veggie burger too, but I'm not sure the veggie burger is vegan.
It actually does say...
Oh, it's vegan?
On their menu that it is vegan.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you can also get the house-made veggie burger. But anyway, I went with the Impossible Burger, and I think I went with a pretzel bun.
Yep.
I didn't do any rub or anything, but I did a spicy ketchup, which was really good.
Yep.
And I did the spicy ketchup and the whole grain mustard.
Nice.
Romaine lettuce, pickles. I think I did pickled red onion.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and roasted red peppers.
Nice.
It was really good.
Yeah.
And then I got a side of, they have these like herbed French fries. They're like...
they called them salt and pepper fries.
Oh, I thought they called them herbed French fries.
Nope, they called them salt and pepper fries on the menu.
Oh, because they had rosemary and stuff on them. They were very good.
Yes, they were. Yeah, the fries were very good.
Yeah.
I had those as well.
Anyway, it's nice to know that there are other places with options. You wouldn't think a place like Burgatory, which is, a beef burger
Oh, yeah.
restaurant. That's their jam. That's what they do. But yeah, they have some options. And vegan cheese. Oh, I forgot. Vegan cheddar. They had vegan cheddar, which I also got vegan cheddar on my burger. So there you go.
Yeah, so it was a very nice meal. We had a great time. A lot of fun. And then we headed back to Owen's and, we played some Jackbox games, which for those of you who don't know, if you've got a Nintendo Switch, Jackbox games are kind of like community cooperative trivia / drawings / really
they have
goofy
Fibbage and what other game? They have a couple of other games.
Well, last night we played Fibbage and Quiplash and Earwax.
Yeah, it all stems from the You Don't Know Jack series. If you're familiar with that, that's what it stems from. But then they have all these different party packs that have, each one has like 5 games on it. They're really fun.
Yeah, they are. We played Trivia Murder Party, which is probably my favorite of all of them.
Yeah.
And we get the most mileage out of that one. We play it many times over and over because you never seem to get the same questions.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think we've had repeats. They're really well done.
yeah, they are.
Yeah, we
They're
have
fun.
a good time. And everybody in the room uses their device.
Their phone, either
So
their
you don't-
phone or their tablet.
You
Yeah.
don't need controllers. You just use your phone or your iPad or whatever.
Yeah, it works really well.
And you log onto their website and play from there. It's really cool.
It is.
We always have a good time when we play it. So we played a couple of rounds of the Jackbox games.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we were all pretty pooped, so we went to sleep at a reasonable hour, which is unusual when we go to Owen and Lucy's.
It's true, because they were tired too from the show.
And Owen had an early meeting this morning, so he was kind of up and out of the house before we were even really coherent.
Yeah, I mean, I was awake and I heard him get up, but he left at like 6 a.m.
Yeah, it was
sometime between 6 and 6:30 a.m.
Yeah, it was really early.
Yeah.
We got up just a little bit later, and then once 8 o'clock rolled around, Christine was kind of like, I'm getting a little hungry. Maybe we should venture out and see what Whole Foods has.
Yeah, plus I thought it would be fun. We haven't been in a Whole Foods in forever, so.
It's been a really long time.
Yeah.
And of course, like our closest Whole Foods is more than an hour away.
Yeah.
So it's just not a priority for us most of the time, especially because we can get just about everything we need more locally anyway. But we wandered into Whole Foods and we were specifically looking for vegan croissants.
Which we found.
I was absolutely
in their
thrilled.
bakery department.
Yep, in their individual bakery case.
Yeah.
They did indeed have vegan croissants, so we picked up a couple of those.
Yeah.
We also got a little loaf of evergreen vegan zucchini. Oh, it was a chocolate chip zucchini bread.
Chocolate chip zucchini bread. Very good.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I had a piece of it when we got home this afternoon.
Yeah.
And to me, it tasted homemade.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah. It was.
But they had lots of options. They had lots of vegan cookies. They had vegan brownies. Lots of options in their bakery department.
Yep.
That was nice to see.
And
very well marked.
Yes, very well
Yeah.
marked, very clearly marked. And what we were super excited to find was our favorite, not to be matched by any other vegan pepperoni.
The Beehive pepperoni.
Beehive pepperoni.
You may have heard us talk about it in the past. It is available at Whole Foods.
Yes, it is.
So we got a couple of packages of that.
We did. And so now we know that anytime we go to see Owen,
Stock up on the pepperoni.
pick up a pack or two of the pepperoni so that if we're feeling pizza or we're feeling sandwiches.
It's good on sandwiches.
Very
yeah.
good on sandwiches. Then we'll.
Put it in a scramble. It's just good.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It's good. It's seitan based. It's really good.
Yeah, so we were very excited to find that. And we did get some peanut butter cups for the next round of our peanut butter cup off.
We did. We got the Justins.
We did.
And we got a new one that I'm not familiar with.
Lily's.
Yes.
I've never had those either.
Yeah. So the next round will be Justin's, Lily's, and the Chomp Nut Pucks.
And Seventh
Which
Heaven.
will be going up against our last winner, which was the Seventh Heaven.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we're having some trouble getting our hands on the Chomp Nut Pucks.
I mean, we can get them, but for some reason you have to buy like a pack of 8 or something.
Yeah, so
we have to order
we're having
them
a little
and-
trouble with that, but
Yeah.
I mean, we're trying to exhaust all of our options before we actually go for the pack of 8.
$20 worth of nut bucks.
We definitely don't need that many peanut butter cups around. So.
We don't.
No.
We don't. I mean, we can hand them out to friends or something.
We could.
But yeah, that'll be in the future. Mm-hmm. So that was fun. Whole Foods, when you don't have one near you, can be fun. We did wander around the store a little bit. I got some cream cheese because we picked up some bagels.
Yep.
I got some organic oat creamer that Oatly makes. Their barista, which I've never seen. The barista that's in a little thing. It was pretty good.
Yep.
Tried that in my coffee. Right. Fruit.
Yep. Because I had to have some fruit with my croissant.
Got to get the fruit in.
So that was our little adventure to Whole Foods.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun knowing we were just going in to get some specific things and not going crazy.
We didn't go crazy.
No.
And I don't know if you know, but in Whole Foods, they do this, like most grocery stores have like a loyalty card. Well, because Whole Foods is owned by Amazon now, you can do your Prime to get like the discounts on things. And we struggled a little bit. And I was joking with our cashier guy, and I'm like, you're probably thinking, okay, boomer.
Well, because we've said it before, I'm not a technology person.
Sam's not technologically inclined.
No, I'm just not. I'm not into like all of the apps. Like seriously, I use my phone to call people and text people. That's essentially all I use it for.
That is pretty much all she uses it for.
And so, everything else I do on my laptop. I have an iPad that I use as a reading device primarily.
Right.
Yeah, I just am not seriously attached to my phone.
Yeah.
And so I asked about the Prime discount and how I
how do I use my Prime?
How do I use my Prime? And so he's trying to explain it to me and open the Amazon app. And I'm like, God, do I even have the Amazon app on my phone? Which it turns out that I do. And so I go in and it makes me log in, and it's just this like, it became this whole
and she's like,
thing,
I don't have cellular turned on.
I don't have cellular turned on. And so Christine starts laughing and she's like, let me do it. And she suggests to the cashier that he's thinking, okay, boomer. To which I'm like, excuse me, I am solidly in the center of Gen X.
We're both Gen X.
But you are Gen X by the skin of your teeth.
I did just squeak in. So.
Yes. So
anyway, he kind of got a kick out of it. He's like, I didn't say that. I'm like, no, but you were thinking it. He's like, well, maybe. Anyway, we gave our cashier a bit of a laugh.
Yes.
So that was fun. Oh, we have an update on our interview with the How I Vegan podcast guys, Matthew and Wes. They will be releasing that episode on June 27th. If you want to hear our interview with Matthew and Wes from How I Vegan podcast, please log in and follow their show.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. If you're looking for another vegan podcast, if you got us, then you can have them.
Yeah, that definitely works. And so we'll keep you posted as we know more. But in the meantime, be sure to follow them, their socials, all that good stuff.
Yeah. June 27th.
But before that, we will be at the Cleveland Veg Fest on June 22nd. That is just 6 short days from now.
Yeah, it's next Saturday in Cleveland.
Sure is. So we'll be looking forward to seeing, hopefully, some of you there.
Yeah, I hope so. And like I said in last week's episode, if you come to our table and say I'm a pickle on the Pod Squad, you get a free sticker.
Yeah, you do.
When we get to meet listeners in person, it's a cool thing.
Yeah, that's kind of awesome.
Well, guess what? We have a recipe this week.
We sure do.
Here is this week's Vegan Cookbook Challenge recipe of the week. This week, Sam chose the recipe, but I made it.
This is true.
It was a group effort.
It was. So, as you may remember, Christine and I have been on this mission to include the widest possible variety of fruits and vegetables in our weekly meals.
This is true.
Yes. And so I chose this recipe because it specifically contained or was based on a vegetable that we had purchased at Wegmans but not yet used. And
yes,
that was the baby bok choy.
Yeah, we made the baby bok choy with crispy shallots and sesame seeds from Veganomicon by Chandra, Moskowitz, and Terry Hope Romero. This is a fabulous book.
Yeah,
Veganomicon.
seriously, it's kind of like the cornerstone.
It's kind of like a vegan Bible.
It really is.
Yeah,
like
it's the ultimate vegan cookbook, and we have the 10th anniversary edition. It's a great book.
it really is. It's fantastic.
Yeah, beautiful photographs and fabulous recipes. We've made a couple of recipes out of this. What was it? Oh, episode 51, we made a recipe out of this. And it was was it the potato and kale enchiladas?
I don't remember.
That's what it's marked. Potato and kale enchiladas.
Well, then it must have been.
So there's great recipes in this book. What did you think of this bok choy recipe?
Oh my gosh, I loved it.
I did too.
I absolutely loved it. It was so simple
Very simple recipe.
and so elegant. And in the book, Isa actually suggested that the bok choy be served with a mound of mashed potatoes.
Yeah, she has a recipe for a wasabi mashed potato. We didn't have wasabi.
We didn't.
So I made a garlic mashed potato with green onion.
I have to say, Christine makes killer mashed potatoes.
I make a pretty good mashed potato.
They're fabulous.
Yeah.
Yes. And so we had this wonderful baby bok choy in this incredible sesame ginger kind of sauce with crispy shallots and sesame seeds.
Yeah.
With mashed potatoes.
It was good.
So good.
It was good. The cool thing about this recipe, this bok choy recipe, is it's beautiful. Like if you're doing like a dinner for friends or something like that, it's a beautiful side dish. Like it's really impressive looking.
It is.
And not much work at all.
Yeah, it's really pretty. So anyway, after the bok choy was ready to go, meal was ready, Christine said, come out and make your plate, which is not something she usually says. So I go out to the kitchen and I look into the serving dish, and there is just this beautiful display of gorgeous baby bok choy in this incredible looking glaze with these crispy shallots and beautiful sesame seeds.
Yeah.
It was just, so pretty.
Yeah, and I'll post a reel and some pictures of it so you can see, because it's impressive looking.
Yeah.
Because you keep the little heads of bok choy together.
Whole. Yeah.
And it's an impressive looking recipe. So I love recipes like that don't take a ton of time, but look like you spent a ton of time on them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. So thank you once again, Chandra, Moskowitz, and Terry Hope Romero for that beautiful recipe. Again, the book is Veganomicon, and if you want to get yourself a copy, I recommend everybody have this on their shelf in their kitchen if you love to cook. We will leave a link to it in our show notes so you can get yourself a copy. That brings us to our noteworthy segment. And in this week's noteworthy segment, you may have seen the headlines, but competitive eater Joey Chestnut, and first of all, I just have to say, I love his name, has been banned from the Nathan's hot dog eating contest in New York City because of his affiliation with a vegan brand.
That's right. So this is coming from BBC News just 6 days ago. Joey Jaws Chestnut has been told he cannot join America's premier hot dog contest after striking a deal with a vegan brand. His removal from next month's Nathan's hot dog eating contest in New York came after he agreed sponsorship from Impossible Foods, a vegan hot dog maker in competition with the Nathan's brand. Major League Eating said on Tuesday, "We are devastated to learn that Joey Chestnut has chosen to represent a rival brand that sells plant-based hot dogs rather than competing in the 2024 Nathan's Famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest." MLE added that Mr. Chestnut was welcome to rejoin the competition, but only if he dropped his vegan sponsorship.
Don't do it, Joey.
Don't do it, Joey.
Number one, don't drop your vegan sponsorship. And number two, don't eat Nathan's hot dogs.
No, don't do it. For a little bit of context, Mr. Chestnut has won the Nathan's contest, which is televised in the United States, 16 times. That's crazy. And the rules of the contest, which is attended by some 40,000 people every year, require competitors to eat as many hot dogs and buns as they can in the span of 10 minutes.
Yeah, and guess what? Joey holds the world record for hot dog eating, having scoffed away a whopping 76 Nathan's hot dogs in 2021.
I'm sorry, but
ew.
can you imagine that's 7.6 hot dogs per minute?
It's disgusting. Well, frankly, I find competitive eating in itself kind of disgusting. But, okay. These kind of contests, can we just ban them? Because, number one, ban them if they're using animal products, because it's just terrible. How many hot dogs are eaten in this contest? If Mr. Chestnut ate 76, I don't know how many competitors there are in each round or whatever, but that's a lot of hot dogs.
It is. That's a lot.
That's a lot of suffering.
Yes. Now, this is not the only eating record that Mr. Chestnut holds. He has also downed 141 hard-boiled eggs in 8 minutes.
Oh, God.
23 meat pies in 10 minutes. 182 chicken wings in 30 minutes. And 25 and a half ice cream sandwiches in 6 minutes.
Oh, my God, that's terrible. Joey, what are you doing?
Well,
I guess there must be a lot of money involved. Why else do people do that, right?
maybe I really don't know. I just don't know. Number one, I can't imagine eating that much of anything.
Yeah.
Number two, I don't know what the draw is with the competitive eating. I don't really understand that. I definitely do want Mr. Chestnut to stand his ground.
Stand his ground, eat the vegan dogs, find another contest that's nothing but vegan hot dogs.
Yes.
Or create your own.
Now, Mr. Chestnut said on social media that he was gutted when he learned of the ban, adding that he had been training to defend his title.
He's not going vegan, people.
No.
So don't think that this is some kind of vegan win.
No, not really.
Yeah.
He did want to set the record straight, saying he does not have a contract with MLE or Nathan's Hot Dogs, and they, meaning MLE and Nathan's, are looking to change the rules from past years as it relates to other partners I can work with. So this makes me think that perhaps Mr. Chestnut had sponsorship from another hot dog brand before.
Yeah, but because it wasn't a vegan hot dog brand.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking.
That the issue is not that he's sponsored by someone else, by a rival brand. It's
exactly.
that it's a plant-based brand.
Exactly. They feel threatened by the fact that he's being represented by a vegan brand.
Yeah.
I think this is an opportunity for Impossible Foods to start their own hot dog eating contest. Start a vegan hot dog eating contest.
Do we really want to suggest that?
We don't.
I mean, just a couple minutes ago, you were saying ban all eating contests. And now you're like, well, let's get Impossible Foods to start their own.
When they include animals, yeah. That's what I'm talking about banning. When they include animals, you know. But, I mean, I do find it kind of disgusting, the eating contest, but that's just my personal opinion. I don't know, but it seems like this is a good opportunity for Impossible to at least show their brand. I think this is another case where Nathan is, remember the cheese scandal?
The blue cheese?
Yeah. Where all the dairy.
Yeah, the Climax blue cheese was eliminated from a major competition because it wasn't dairy cheese.
And Climax cheese got all this press because the dairy cheesemakers wanted them eliminated from this competition and had them eliminated, right? So I think this is another case where Nathan's is doing nothing but creating buzz around Impossible hot dogs.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just not sure. And I think maybe I'm not sure about that because, Impossible is a more recognized brand.
Yeah.
Than Climax blue cheese.
I mean, I'm just saying if I worked for Impossible Foods, I'd be like, this is great. How many articles are there out there that are now saying Impossible hot dogs, right? And people are going to be like, what's Impossible hot dogs if they don't know already?
That's a fair point. Yeah, okay.
And I find it really interesting that Mr. Chestnut chose to be represented by a vegan brand, given that he is not vegan himself.
Right. And that, according to MLE, Mr. Chestnut and his managers were prioritizing that partnership, that he has chosen to not attend the competition instead of giving up that sponsorship.
Yeah.
So it is interesting, and I don't know what the logic behind that is. I don't know what the impetus for that is.
I'm assuming a lot of money.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued also. There's definitely something going on behind the scenes there, right?
It seems like it.
That we're not hearing. And maybe will come out in the future.
Yeah,
So
maybe.
keep my eye on that. That brings us to our main topic. In this week's main topic, we're going to be telling you about Animal Rising exposing the RSPCA Assurance Scheme and their terrible failures. If you're not familiar, the RSPCA is the British, and I think Scotland also, version of the SPCA. It's the Royal SPCA. And their assurance scheme is a program where they go around to farms and they give like a stamp of approval. So if you're buying meat in the UK, in England, or in Scotland, it will have this RSPCA approval thing on the packaging saying that the RSPCA has gone into their farm and checked to make sure that there is no animal cruelty or mistreatment or anything like that going on in these farms. Well, Animal Rising exposed that their assurance program it's a sham. It's a complete sham.
Yes. So as it turns out, the RSPCA are in fact giving their seal of assurance to factory farms, to concentrated animal feeding operations. Mm-hmm. Over the last 30 years, the RSPCA have been putting their trusted brand on animal products via the RSPCA Assured Scheme, previously known as Freedom Food. The scheme's marketing and PR actively promotes a fairy tale image where animals enjoy green fields and happy lives in well-cared-for farms. But this portrayal is a lie. The most well-known and well-trusted animal charity in the UK and possibly the world has knowingly misled the British public and made money from that betrayal.
Animal Rising has created an extensive report of their findings going into these farms.
Yes, they have.
So we're going to take a little look at this report that they've created. It's very well put together. I'm going to include a link to it in our show notes. So take a look at it because it's really well put together and it's going to tell you everything that they found. It'll tell you their statement on why they're not naming the farms in the report, a summary of their investigations, a legal summary, and it goes through in detail their investigations on pigs and boars, hens and broiler chickens, salmon and trout farm, the scheme itself, the RSPCA Assured Scheme, their historical investigations, and much more.
Yes.
So let's just kind of take a look at what's going on in here and just tell you a little bit about what they found.
So Animal Rising has done the largest investigation in UK history. This is 60 investigations on 45 farms over 4 months to show once and for all that this is not the case of just one bad apple, but that the whole barrel is rotten. Their report documents intense suffering and distress of the animals, most of which is permitted by the RSPCA Assured Scheme regulations. The report also documents the widespread, regular, and taken-for-granted regulation breaches, as well as, in many cases, illegal behavior. Findings have been verified by a specialist barrister in animal welfare, and they found 280 legal breaches and a further 94 breaches of DEFRA codes of practice. They found pigs lying dead in the middle of pen aisles, chicks dead from dehydration and starvation, salmon and trout with eyes and body parts missing, laying hens having lost their feathers from distress, pigs dragging themselves across the floor because their legs aren't working, sheds holding up to 64,000 chickens at a time. Publicly, the RSPCA claims to be against intensive farming, yet they continue to put their stamp of approval on these farming methods through their assurance scheme and then use it to promote eating animals to children through school programs. This is not the first time the scheme has been exposed. There have been at least 33 undercover investigations over the last 16 years, and every one has shown similar cases of suffering. So the issues with the RSPCA assurance scheme are fundamental and ongoing. So really what we're looking at here is a cover-up of industrial proportions. Animal Rising's expose shows that it is not possible to fix it. The RSPCA are literally selling a myth and profiting from it to the tune of about £4 million a year in fees from farms where animals live and die terribly. The Assured scheme has failed. It is little more than a marketing arm of the intensive animal agriculture industry, fooling consumers in the aisles of M&S, Tesco, Sainsbury's, and Waitrose. The public don't want to pay for animal suffering, but that's exactly what's happening. And it's happening because they're being lied to. The RSPCA needs to start telling the truth to the public and to drop the Assured scheme.
And they did manage to rescue, I believe, a pig from one of the pig farms that they were at. There is a video of some of their efforts, which I will also link to in our show notes so that you can watch that video. And if you can, there are some hard scenes to watch because the conditions in these farms are deplorable. These are not exceptions. These farms that they went to, this is the normal.
This is the norm.
Yeah.
Now, Aisha Smart, who was the specialist barrister in animal welfare and is also a Crown Court judge, said that some of these RSPCA assured farms do not even comply with basic legal requirements, even though they hold themselves out to the public as being a higher welfare supplier. This is effectively fraud, particularly when a welfare-conscious consumer selects a product based on that sense of higher welfare and ethical treatment of sentient beings. You know, this is actually reminding me of that sign we saw in Whole Foods this morning.
Oh, yeah. Tell us. Yeah. Let's talk about that sign we saw over their meat department.
Yes. Okay.
In huge letters on the wall.
Yes. So we're in Whole Foods and we're looking in the bakery section for our beloved vegan croissants.
Croissant.
Exactly. And I turn around and I happen to notice right above a case of essentially carcasses.
Yeah.
The words animal welfare standards are standard here.
Yeah.
And I just looked at that and I went, oh, no, no, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no, no, no. And I just could not believe that they would be so bold as to claim.
And to put it above their meat department. It's like, I understand what they're trying to do there, but it's just, yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty awful. And so it feels like this is a very similar thing, just on a much larger scale.
This is insanity, what's going on with the RSPCA. It's blatant fraud that this organization that has been charged with maintaining the welfare of these animals and making sure that these farms are following the law, they're blatantly it's fraud that they're stamping animal products in their stores with this RSPCA approval, saying that we can assure you that these animals are being treated well, that there is, no misconduct in any of the farms where this food is coming from. It's a blatant lie.
Yes, it is. And within the report itself, even in just the first few pages, you get a number of examples of blatant cruelty. So one of the things that jumps out to me here, and there's quite a lot actually that will jump out at you as you're reading this.
It's a little overwhelming.
It really is. But there's one section in particular that speaks to the 69% of the British public who identify as animal lovers. And that's not surprising. I bet that number would be similar just about anywhere in the world. Lots of people identify as animal lovers.
Sure.
And that number comes from the RSPCA's own kindness index.
Yeah.
We imagine that those people, and perhaps even those who don't actively identify as animal lovers, would be pretty surprised and upset to find the levels of suffering found on these assured farms. And those things include severe overcrowding, chickens and other animals unable to exhibit species-specific behaviors, so things that are just an inherent part of their nature.
Sure.
Hens that are carried and swung around by their legs. The docking of pigs' tails, which is something that the RSPCA actually advises against, but it's done anyway.
Right.
And of course, one of the things I think that bothers me most in the animal agriculture industry is the separation of calves from their mothers to secure the mother's milk for human consumption.
Yeah, and it says each one of those instances of suffering fall within the regulations of the RSPCA's scheme.
That it's permissible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also breaches, huge breaches of their assurance scheme being found.
Yes.
And here are just some of the breaches that they found. We don't really want to overwhelm you with this because it's disturbing information.
It is.
But the welfare issues that they found were cramped conditions, widespread disease, widespread injuries, fighting wounds, tail and ear biting. The stocking density on these farms looks typical for RSPCA assured, and that is generally cramped with little room to move, delineate areas for different activities, or express normal behaviors. Pigs are crowded in very large groups, and in one shot we see a pig being mounted in the middle of this mass of pigs and unable to escape. Pigs shown fighting with nowhere to escape, and they're saying these are sexually mature males in a pen of perhaps 50 to 60 pigs. Pigs having been seen to step over each other to reach feeders, disturbing those lying down and causing pigs to vocalize. Deprivation of rest and sleep is seriously affecting their welfare. There's, of course, a ton of noise if you've seen any footage of any of the pig farms, including the ones in the U.S., that it's noisy. There's lots of pigs screaming, and it's suggestive that they're not happy, of course. The improper ventilation is just a thick layer of just filth on surfaces, and the air is very thick. The animals are showing to have conjunctivitis because the air is so bad and so thick with ammonia. Lots of disease. They see lots of disease in all of the farms that they went in, the pig farms, the chicken farms.
And so this is one of the things that is of greatest concern to a lot of people when we talk about intensive farming operations. It's just the fact that animals are kept in such close quarters to each other that disease is essentially inevitable. There's no way that's not going to become a problem. And so these things can be as simple as dry, persistent coughing, suggestive of respiratory pathogens, or gastrointestinal diseases. Post-mortem examinations of some deceased animals, at least 13 animals were carried out over 3 visits. The post-mortem examinations showed evidence of viral lung lesions and pleural interstitial pneumonia, endocarditis, pericarditis, pleurisy, peritonitis, edema of the colon and inflamed intestinal tracts, E. coli, bowel edema disease, underlying viral diseases like PRRS, influenza, and enzoonotic pneumonia, secondary bacterial infections, Glasser's disease. It's just incredible.
It is. And further down in the report on page 19, there's a more detailed list of things they found in their investigation and where those things were found. Like I said, they're not naming the farms, but they are telling you where they are found: in Somerset, in Wiltshire, Suffolk, Oxfordshire, Norfolk, Peterborough. They've been to many, many farms, and in all of these farms, they're finding terrible infractions.
Yes. And at the same time, you're getting the following statement on factory farming taken from the RSPCA Assured's own website in their Q&A section. And the question is, can RSPCA Assured meat be factory farmed? The answer is no. We do not allow factory farming on our scheme. Both the RSPCA and RSPCA Assured strongly oppose intensive farming practices, which are characterized by the use of close confinement systems, e.g. cages and crates, low space allowances for the animals, and barren environments, none of which are permitted on RSPCA Assured certified farms. We also strongly condemn the use of fast-growing breeds. This is particularly common in chicken farming.
Yeah.
We regard this practice as cruel and unethical, and we do not permit the use of such breeds on any RSPCA Assured certified farms. We believe that by increasing the proportion of animals being farmed to higher welfare standards and reducing the number of farmed animals overall, we will see a reduction and eventually an end to the intensive farming of farm animals.
Yeah, well, I guess that's a bunch of BS.
I say so, yes.
Because every one of the farms included in this investigation are RSPCA Assured farms. And it sounds like intensive farming to me.
Yes.
Animals packed in together. It's completely intensive farming, and they can't deny that.
No, they can't at all. And the thing is, we know it's a bunch of BS because earlier in 2024, the Amazon Prime documentary Pignorant. Now, this is not one that I've yet seen, but you can...
We haven't watched that yet.
That I'm going to very, very soon. Showcased the severe suffering experienced by pigs in RSPCA Assured gas chambers, and also shows a worker beating a pig to death with a metal bar on an RSPCA Assured farm. This documentary takes a strong focus on the failure of the RSPCA Assured scheme to protect animals and its role in misleading the British public. Between 2009 and 2017, Animal Aid inserted secret cameras into 15 slaughterhouses as part of a campaign for greater transparency. They found that the one RSPCA Assured slaughterhouse in Essex that they investigated in 2011 had some of the worst abuses out of all of them, with workers stubbing out cigarettes into pigs' faces.
It's just like a nightmare.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's nauseating.
I'm not sure that we will watch that film. I don't know if I could get through it.
Probably not. I couldn't get through Dominion, so chances are I'm not going to get through this, but I'm going to make an effort.
So after all that awfulness, and I'm really sorry to subject our listeners to all this, but it is information that needs to be exposed. If you could tell people what's going on with the RSPCA and know that this is not something that's only happening in Britain. This same thing happens here in the United States.
Without question.
Yeah. The USDA, the SPCA, all of the organizations that are charged with making sure this kind of thing isn't happening are letting it happen.
Yes.
In the name of money.
That's right.
They're letting these animals live in deplorable conditions. They're suffering right up to the day they die. It's really terrible, and I'm sorry that we have to expose you to this. But I think it's really important that their work is exposed.
Yes.
You know?
Now, Animal Rising They are not just identifying the problem. They are also offering some solutions.
Right.
So the RSPCA really needs to lead the way and to set a bold focus in its farmed animal work toward building public support behind ambitious political goals of a plant-based transition and nature restoration. Ideally, this should aim towards ending animal farming and fishing and fully transitioning to a plant-based food system. The RSPCA could pursue these goals with actions such as lobbying for these policy outcomes to the government, building coalitions with other organizations to pursue this goal, working to transition key institutions like universities, councils, hospitals, religious institutions, workplaces, schools, etc., and to implement the members' vote at last year's annual general meeting by changing RSPCA offices, events, and branches to 100% plant-based catering. Supporting the general public to eat plant-based by running educational programs in communities promoting entirely plant-based eating as part of a societal shift. Supporting farmers and rural communities in transitioning away from animal agriculture by creating schemes and funds. Working on policy proposals for a plant-based transition and working to build unity behind these with key stakeholders. Working with sister organizations to push for international policies towards a plant-based transition, and to protect the animals currently in animal farming by repurposing RSPCA assured infrastructure to focus on investigating and rescuing animals from animal agriculture industries and giving them good lives, presenting a positive vision of the future. Yes, taking on this issue would be challenging, but it is the right thing to do. The RSPCA, as the oldest and largest animal organization in the UK, has the opportunity to lead the way to a sustainable future where animals are free from suffering. And Animal Rising wants to work closely to pursue this mission and hope that the RSPCA will be their allies to achieve this change.
Yeah, thank you, Animal Rising. And it makes me think, if these were cats and dogs, right? Here in the States, people hear SPCA and they think about cats and dogs. If this were cats and dogs, there would be outrage.
Yes.
Outrage. Anytime you hear stories of like puppy mills or anything like that, and there's video taken in a puppy mill or video taken even at like a doggy daycare. There was a recent situation in a doggy daycare in the Buffalo area where there was video of the dogs being abused by the people running it. Mm-hmm. There was outrage.
Of course.
And that was one dog being mistreated. If these were dogs and not pigs or chickens, like I said, people would be up in arms. They would be in the streets. There would be mob rules at this point, right? The level of speciesism that's involved in this is unbelievable to me.
It really is.
It's unbelievable. And I really want to thank everybody involved in the Animal Rising organization that went to these places, that had to witness what was going on in these places, that documented what they saw, and that are making a difference by calling this out for what it is.
It's phenomenal work.
It's amazing work. And like I said, we're going to link to this report. I really hope that you would look at it, as hard as it is, because there are pictures included, and as hard as it is to read what they found, it is important that the information gets out there. And I'll also include a link to the video that they made surrounding this investigation. It's kind of hard to move on from something like this, right?
It is a little bit.
It's a little traumatizing, even just reading through what they found. And I know when I originally saw an article about their report and dove into it and found the video of their investigation, of course I was appalled. And it's just like you keep seeing this over and over and over again, the conditions that factory farming is creating
Yes.
for these creatures. It is just unbelievable to me.
It's untenable. It's unsustainable. It's unethical.
It is morally
Deplorable.
deplorable. Yes.
It needs to stop.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. And of course, we know that's not simple by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
It's remarkably complex. But if we're speaking in ethical terms, this really is a black and white issue. I usually don't believe in oppositional dualities.
Right.
But this one is just clear as day. There is a very concrete right and wrong going on here.
There absolutely is. And since you were talking about the morality of it all, in next week's episode, we have something really exciting we want to talk about because we were recently invited to a screening of the film Christspiracy with a talk back with Kip and Cameron afterwards. And we really want to talk about that film.
Oh my God.
To talk about the morality issue behind eating animals.
Yes.
So much information there that we're so excited to share with you, but wanted to take some time to
kind of digest a little bit.
Digest it and organize our thoughts about it. And want to bring the information to you without spoiling the film for you so much.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Because they are working on a digital release so that more people can see it. So that'll be next week. We'll be talking about that.
Yes.
But we need to move on.
I suppose we must.
I know it's hard after something like that to move on. But we want to move on to our assignment restaurant SOS.
This week's assignment restaurant SOS is one of our favorites, Nice Biscuit.
Yeah, we got a ton of nominations for Nice Biscuit.
And we are not even close to surprised because
not at all.
They are fabulous. For those of you who don't know, Nice Biscuit is this incredible walk-up breakfast spot in Syracuse, New York, specifically at 2324 Court Street in Syracuse, New York. They are open from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. They are closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And if you'd like to check out their menu, which you should, you can go to nice-biscuit.com/menu. Now, we've talked about Nice Biscuit a couple of times.
Yeah, I think a number of times.
Because every time we go to Syracuse, Nice Biscuit is essential on our way out of town. It's what we do. On the morning that we're driving home, we stop at Nice Biscuit first.
We do. We were originally introduced to Nice Biscuit at the
Syracuse Veg Fest.
We got the Chicky Baby. We had never heard of them.
Nope.
We just walked up to their booth completely unknowing about the greatness that is Nice Biscuit. And we got a Chicky Baby. Mm-hmm. So good. It's their vegan fried chicken, and they put sweet and spicy pickles and this vegan honey mustard sauce on it. And it was a cold, cold day, and this warm
sandwich on this perfect vegan buttermilk biscuit. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. And since then, we have become huge devotees of their breakfast sandwiches. We absolutely love their Rambler.
Yeah, I always get the Rambler, which is Thrilling Foods bacon, American cheese, and a Just Egg.
And
dang sauce.
The dang sauce.
Yeah.
Literally, that is what comes out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah. So good. So, Nice Biscuit, we love you. If you are ever, and this is to the listeners, not to Nice Biscuit, but if you are ever in the Syracuse area, do not miss out on Nice Biscuit.
No.
They're amazing.
It is amazing, and get the potato wedges. Don't sleep on the potato wedges.
But if there are two of you, only get one order of potato wedges.
No, get two. Get two.
I think sharing is appropriate here because...
Sharing is caring, but I want Nice Biscuit to sell more potato wedges.
Okay, that's fair.
They're so good.
All right, that's fine.
And don't forget to send us your favorite vegan restaurants because it's tough out there, people. for small businesses, especially for small vegan businesses. So we wanted to try to, give back a little to help these people out. Hey, it's time for our favorite portion of the show.
Must be listener shout out time.
It's listener shout out.
Just want to give a shout out to all my fans watching. I love you guys. I love you.
This week's listener shout out goes to Leslie Just. Leslie is active in her Western New York vegan community. She is a vocal advocate for animals. She always interacts with our social media posts, and we really appreciate that. So thanks for listening, Leslie.
Yeah, thanks for listening, Leslie. And thank you for being so active on our social medias. And we really appreciate that. Please send us your t-shirt size and address so we can send you a CNC swag bag. You can either text us that by using the link in our show notes, email us at compassionandcucumbers@gmail.com, or DM us on Instagram or Facebook.
And for the rest of you out there, if you would like a listener shout out, please text, email, or DM us. Let us know what you think of the show and tell us just a little bit about yourself. And don't forget that a shout out enters you into our Meeson Chef Knife giveaway later this year.
Yeah, you want a chance to win that knife because it's nice.
Yeah, you do.
We have a vegan org of the week.
We sure do.
This week's vegan org of the week is none other than Animal Rising.
Animal Rising is a non-violent, people-powered organization working towards a sustainable future where humanity shares a positive relationship with animals and nature. The animal farming and fishing industries are causing untold suffering to trillions of animals every year. These industries, alongside fossil fuels, are leading causes of our current climate and ecological emergencies. Urgent action is required to protect all life. The key solution to these challenges is to support farming and fishing communities in the necessary and urgent transition to a sustainable and just plant-based food system. This will provide an abundance of food on far less land, providing the space for nature to recover and wildlife to return, while still feeding our growing human population and drawing down carbon from the atmosphere. To learn more about their work, go to animalrising.org.
And with that, we're going to wrap up. Just want to remind you to please join the Agriculture Fairness Alliance's Vegan Voter Hub. We always put a link in our show notes, so click that link and join the Voter Hub. Don't forget to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast app, subscribe to our YouTube, and leave us a review and a rating. Also, you can text us show ideas, recipes, cookbook recommendations, or just to say hello.
And with that, it's time to sign off. You have just listened to episode 144 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast, and there's nothing left to say but where cukes and compassion are always the fashion.
On the podcast. Thank you, James.
Have a great week, everyone.
We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
We love you.
We do. Bye-bye.
The end.
If you'd like to support the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast, well, you can do that by hopping on over to our Patreon page and becoming a patron. We have all the recipes from our Vegan Kitchen series up there, and we'll be adding some patron-only episodes in the near future. So thank you for supporting us at whatever level that you choose, and thank you again for listening to Compassion and Cucumbers podcast.